With Hunter x Hunter's manga return, the question is now being asked, is the binding vow system in Hunter x Hunter better than Jujutsu Kaisen's, or is it the other way around? Both Jujutsu Kaisen and Hunter x Hunter have a system of binding vows where you basically give up something in return for something else, and you make this promise or this vow with the power system itself. So in Hunter x Hunter, you make it with Nen, and in Jujutsu Kaisen, you make it with cursed energy. An example of a Nen vow in Hunter x Hunter, also manga spoilers, is Hisoka coated his heart and his lungs with bungee gum in order to not die. Well, in order to not stay dead. He did die, but he became resurrected after the death. So he basically gave up his life and in return got stronger Nen, called post-mortem Nen. So he gave up his life temporarily and then in return got stronger. One of the earliest examples in Hunter x Hunter of this kind of vow is with Kurapika, where put very, very simply, his judgment chains do really, really well against the spiders, but they do terrible against everyone else, and he actually can die by using it. That's another example. He basically makes his attack really, really good against one group of people, but then completely helpless against everyone else. And then an example of a binding vow in Jujutsu Kaisen is just Sukuna himself. He is the binding vow merchant. He's constantly making them to get himself in and out of all kinds of different situations. It's a true showcase of his incredible intelligence. However, the issue with Jujutsu Kaisen's binding vow system is it's never actually explained what the consequences are of breaking them. It said very early on that the consequences are terrible, but it doesn't even say that it's death or that you lose your cursed energy or something. It's just like you make a promise and if you break it, it ends badly. Although in Jujutsu Kaisen you can make binding vows with other people, so you can say, "I promise I won't do this," and in return you got to do this. And if you break that, something bad happens. Although in Jujutsu Kaisen we see binding vows happen much more consistently and on a much more minor level. People like Sukuna and Kenjaku, who are very, very smart, make binding vows constantly to use them to their advantage. Whereas with Hunter x Hunter, they're much more rare but also much more major. But the question is which series does it better? It's definitely Hunter x Hunter. The fact that Jujutsu Kaisen just doesn't have a clearly outlined punishment for breaking the vow makes it much less interesting and makes the stakes much less lower. And in an example like Hisoka keeping himself from staying dead, Hunter x Hunter just uses these vows with much higher stakes and it makes the story much more interesting. I love Jujutsu Kaisen's power system a whole lot, but the binding vows just not being very clear is one of its biggest downsides. And Jujutsu Kaisen definitely drew inspiration from Hunter x Hunter, and Hunter x Hunter just does it better. So, I mean, there you go.